How many single men do we have in the audience today? Show of hands. Just a few. What if I told you that I had a surefire way for you to make a great first impression on a date and stand out from the sea of other men that your date has already met? Married men in the audience, show of hands, are in a relationship. What if I told you that there was a way to impress your spouse by showing a side of you that she probably hasn't seen in a while? Would you be interested? Well, there's no need to wait till the end of the presentation because I'm going to tell you the answer right now. It's to incorporate chivalry in all that you do. Chivalry is a term born from the Institute of Knighthood hundreds of years ago. Back then it meant having attributes like courtesy, gallantry, honor, and courage as an ideal knight. Now that terminology has morphed a little bit over the years, and today, for the most part, we refer to chivalry as having respect and courtesy for women. A good knight is a phrase I created that means incorporating chivalry in all that you do, in all of your interactions with women. Not just on dates or at parties when you want to impress someone, if you're dating, but more as a day-to-day, everyday way to interact with women. A couple practical examples of chivalry today. We probably all know, but not necessarily for us men do we always practice them. If you're walking in the rain with an umbrella, hold the umbrella over the head of the female that you're with. Don't allow her to get wet. Open a door for a lady, be it at the car, or at a store, or even at a restaurant. While you're at a restaurant, pull the chair back for her and allow her to sit, and then gently move it in. Those are all some practical examples of chivalry. To be a good knight and apply the good knight mindset really only requires two simple key tenets. The first key tenet is to never expect anything in return for your chivalry. To do so, you might come across as scripted or non-genuine. The woman for whom you are being chivalrous to may think that you are being chivalrous only to get something in return, which us men would never. Even though you should never expect anything in return for your chivalry, as men, you are going to receive a wide range of responses. On one end of the spectrum, you might get some scowls or sneers from the women that you're being chivalrous to. They might not understand it completely or think you're being genuine, even though you are. On the other end of the spectrum, you're going to get women that are very appreciative of your actions and may thank you sincerely, possibly even if you're dating, come away with the phone number. The second key tenet to chivalry is to apply chivalry in all of your interactions with women. Again, not just in a social setting, but as a way of life in everyday interactions. If you're standing in line at the bank and there's a lady behind you who appears to be in a hurry, offer up your position to her. If you're outside in the rain and you have an umbrella and you see a lady that doesn't and she's getting wet, offer to hold the umbrella up for her. If you're at dinner at a nice restaurant and a lady next to you at the table next to you drops her napkin or silverware, pick it up for her. The goal here is to apply it to all of your interactions with women. Now you may be saying, well, this is nice, but do women really appreciate it? Well, I think they do, and I can prove it for you. The next time you're talking to your date or your spouse, men, ask a woman if she would appreciate it if someone opened a car door for her. And then to throw a little salt in the wound, ask her when the last time that was done for her. Now, to be sure, I try to practice a good night attitude as much as possible, but sometimes come up short and miss some opportunities to be chivalrous. And I'm sure my girlfriend Becca will attest to that. You can talk to her after my speech. She'll have several examples. However, there are other cases where, because of applying this mindset, it has just become second nature. An example, I was recently at a Target store, and I had just entered the store and had grabbed the shopping cart and was going down the main aisle, pushing it down the main aisle, and there was a lady about 30 feet in front of me coming in the opposite direction with an armful of groceries. True story. As we were nearing each other, I could tell that some of the items she was holding were going to be lost to gravity. They were going to fall before she made it to the checkout lanes, which is clear where she was headed. As we met, I stopped the lady and I said, "Excuse me, my cart is empty. Would you like to put your items in my cart and take them to the checkout lane?" Well, she looked at me kind of strangely at first, and I think was evaluating whether I was being sincere. Realized I was. Took the cart and pushed it off to the checkout lane with a sincere thank you. No phone number, by the way. And I went and grabbed my own shopping cart. Adopting a good night attitude will really pay off, men, for those of us both in a dating and in a spousal type of relationship. If you apply chivalry to all that you do, then when you're interacting with your date or your spouse, it'll become second nature. You won't have to think about it. Give it a second thought. And for those that are dating, it elevates you to a new level. It puts you above the other people, the other dates that your woman has seen, and makes you stand out from the sea of other men that she's encountered. And who knows, after a great date, being a good night may end up a good night for both of you.